Somebody calling my name. I went down to see. Heard a little voice calling down at me. How you know my name? Why you calling me? I don't know what to say. You said this was meant to be. Wasn't calling out my name, calling me today. How can I break it down? I didn't know what to say. Wasn't calling out my name, calling near and far. Tell me what you want. You said let me in your heart, let me in your heart, let wisdom in your heart. Let me in your heart, let wisdom in your heart, in your heart, let wisdom in your heart. Let me in your heart, let wisdom in your heart. Somebody calling my name. I went down to see. Heard a little small voice calling down at me. How you know my name? How you know my name? Why you calling me? I don't know what to say. They said this was meant to be. This was meant to be. Calling my name, calling me today. How can I break it down? I didn't know what to say. They calling out my name, calling near and far. Tell me what you want. You said let me in your heart, let me in your heart, let wisdom in your heart. Let me in your heart, let wisdom in your heart. Let me in your heart, let wisdom in your heart. Let me in your heart, let wisdom in your heart. In your heart, let wisdom in your heart. Let me in your heart, let wisdom in your heart. In your heart, let wisdom in your heart. Let me in your heart, let wisdom in your heart. Let me in your heart, let wisdom in your heart. Let me in your heart, let wisdom in your heart. Call your name.
Does not wisdom call and understanding put forth her voice? In the top of high places by the way, where the paths meet, she stands. Beside the gates at the entry of the city, at the coming in at the doors, she cries aloud, unto you, O men, I call, and my voice is to the sons of men. O ye thoughtless, understand prudence, and ye fools, be ye of an understanding heart. Hear, for I will speak excellent things, and the opening of my lips shall be right things.
What could I do? Wisdom calling me over here, over there. Seems like everywhere. In your heart, in the night, wisdom in your heart. Ooh yeah, in the night, in your heart. I just can't do without it. I can't do without it. Calling me in your heart. Yeah, it's all been on my mind. Can't do without it. Can't do without it. In your heart, there's wisdom in your heart. I just can't do
Yah made me as the beginning of his ways, the first of his works of old. I was set up from everlasting from the beginning, or ever the earth was. The fear of Yah is the beginning of wisdom, and the knowledge of the All-Holy is understanding. But by me thy days shall be multiplied, and the years of thy life shall be increased.
That's all. That's all that's been on my mind. Hey, you gotta get go. I just can't do without it. No, no. Oh, no. Can't do without it. Can't do without it. Can't do without it. That's all that's been on. Oh, wisdom. Oh, yeah. Said I want you.
Now therefore,
I need you.
ye children, hearken unto me.
Stay with me.
For happy are they that keep my ways. Hear instruction and be wise and refuse it not. Happy is the man that hearkeneth to me. Watching daily at my gates, waiting at the posts of my doors. But whoso findeth me findeth life and obtaineth favor of Yah. But he that misseth me wrongeth his own soul. All they that hate me love death. Love death. Love death.
All right. All right. We're back. My name is Yamsuf Arif. I, along with the administrator of the show, Sister Nisanya. All right. All right. All right. We're back. My name is Yamsuf Arif. I, along with my co-host, Elder Katria, administrator of the show, Sister Nisanya, are here to you to bring some relief by virtue of these studies. I suspect some out there have tried to help Marcus Garvey, Malcolm X, Dr. Martin Luther King, Black Lives Matter, the Democratic Party, Republican Party. You tell me, how's it working out for you? I suspect coming up with another great leader from universal right race supremacy by virtue of Donald Trump, it's not going to work out too well for you. I suspect that. That's why we're here to offer you these studies so you can plug in, you can have get some real help by virtue of the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, by virtue of gathering yourself together with your brothers and our sisters. Those are essential. Plugging into the Most High and reconnecting with your brothers and your sisters. Because as it looks, we're just a monstrosity. We're not connected with anything but foolishness. You turn on your television every night for the noon television show. The noon television show that tells us a whole lot of nonsense. It shows the travesty that we have been reduced to because we are not connected to anything of any essential value. And the evidence speaks for itself. You may say, oh, Yamsuf, you don't know what you're talking about. Well, I may not, but the evidence speaks for itself. Turn on the local news. Turn on your national news. I suspect turn on your international news. And that's one of the primary reasons why we're here tonight, to help you plug in, to help you get you some solutions, to help you be in a position where you can gather yourselves together, and so on and so forth, by virtue of our studies. That being said, before I introduce my co-host, Brother Cartrell, and the administrator of the show, Sister Nisanya, which is my Esau, simply my wife, we'll be studying in the first book of Nehemiah, not the first book, the 8th chapter, Fundamental Instructions. Also, Brother Cartrell will end the studies in the 11th chapter of Daniel, a continuation of yesterday, the prophecies concerning Persia and Greece. And I suspect the Romans too. So without further ado, let me introduce them to you. My Esau, Sister Nisanya, and my brother, fellow elder, and co-host, Brother Cartrell. Sister Nisanya, your mic is hot. Shalom.
Shalom, shalom, family. All praises to the Most High. I'm just here, ready for the studies. Always ready for the studies. And just ready for the studies. All praises.
And that's a good thing. And that's a good thing. Praise Yah. Brother Cartrell.
Shalom, shalom. All praise to the Holy One of Yisrael, the Elohim of our fathers, Abraham, Yitzchak, and Yisrael. Giving him thanks and praise for another day, and for all things and everything. Brother Yamsu, Sister Nasanya, how y'all doing? May the Most High bless y'all.
We're doing well, brother. Thank you for asking. And we pray that your family is doing also. They're doing great. Praise y'all.
Yes, giving thanks to the Most High. He's keeping my family well.
Praise y'all.
And that song that you played,
Yes,
Wisdom
brother.
in my heart, wisdom in my heart. That's what we all should be seeking, wisdom besides Yah, because the only way you're going to reach Yah is through wisdom. And wisdom is discipline and instruction. And she says, all they that hate me love death. So our life is wisdom. She's everywhere. In the top of 5 places, by the way, where the paths meet. You say we turn on the news. You ain't getting no wisdom from turning on the news. You have to find out wisdom first in order to be attached to Yah. That's the real key. So that song is real powerful.
And that's real talk. Praise y'all. Brother Catriel's ready. Our sister Nasanya and you fellow students are ready, because your life should always be ready to be inputted with knowledge, wisdom, and understanding. Praise Yah. Chapter 8 of the book of Nehemiah. And it's fundamental instructions. As I say, you have to get your fundamentals right. Like they tell you in this modern day contemporary time, get your fundamentals right. You can get everything right. You get your fundamental right in the alphabets. You can get everything right. You get your fundamentals right in mathematicians. You can get everything right. You get your fundamentals right in science and so on and so forth. You have to get your fundamentals right. Praise Yah. So let's get started. Ezra reads the law. You know, we read about the book of Ezra. And Ezra reads these fundamentals. When the 7th month came, the children of Israel were in their cities. Now all the people gathered together as one. They had one mind. As one man in the open square that was in front of the Watergate. Not the Watergate 19, no, not that Watergate. The Watergate in Jerusalem. And they told Ezra, the scribe, to bring the book of the law, not his biography, not his contemporaries, not the law of the United States of America, not the law of France, not the law of Belgium, not the law of Germany. So bring the law of Mosaic in order to get our fundamentals right, which Yah had commanded Israel. So Ezra the priest brought the law before the assembly of men and women, and all who would hear with understanding on the first day of the 7th month.
So
Then he read from it in the
so
open. Yes, brother.
I'm sorry to interrupt you, but they didn't have the advantage that we do now. They're asking Ezra to read the law.
Exactly.
Do we have the law?
Yeah, we got the law.
How many of us?
All of us, if we got the book.
Okay. They didn't have the book like we had the book.
Right.
And Ezra's breaking out the book that they didn't have.
Exactly.
That's all I wanted to say.
And here's the difference, Brother Catriel, in response. We have the book and we're not attentive. They didn't have the book. They didn't have the book. And they had a much more different attitude. They were attentive to the reading.
We should be as thirsty as they were for the words coming out the book that we have in our hands right now.
Yeah, we are thirsty, Brother Catriel. We are thirsty. Some of us are thirsty for Marcus Garvey. Some of us are thirsty for Malcolm X. Some of us are thirsty for Dr. Martin Luther King. Some of us are thirsty for Black Lives Matter. Some of us are thirsty for the Democratic Party. Some of us are thirsty for the Republican Party. We're not thirsty for the Most High, the Creator. All in distraction.
Not like these people in Ezra and Nehemiah's time.
It's true, my brother.
And we got it right in our hands, and we don't value it as much as they did. We
don't care, because we're something special. And not in a good way, Isaac. And here's on the first day of the 7th month. Then he read from it in the open square that was in front of the Watergate, beginning from morning until midday, all day long to midday, before the men and women and those who could understand, in the ears of all the people who were attentive, anybody, to the book of the law. So Ezra, the scribe, stood on a platform of wood which they had made for that purpose. And beside him on his right hand stood Bathiah, Shema, Anathiah, Urijah, Hekiah, Mesariah, and on his left hand stood Pedaiah, Mashuel, Uchiah, Hashum, Hezbandana, Zechariah, and Meshullam. And Ezra opened the book, and the sight, there was no hidden secrets. There was no secret society.
So
Everything
y'all,
was open and transparent. Yes, brother.
what that sound like today? It sounds like those brothers on the street corner in the purple reading from the book.
Exactly. Open and transparent.
Same thing.
Open and transparent. No hidden
That's what-
secrets. No
that's what-
hidden agenda.
What Ezra the priest, you say Ezra the scribe. My book says
Yeah.
Ezra the priest. He was
Yes.
from the house of Aaron.
Mhm.
He was also a scribe because we have a book written by Ezra. And they play
Exactly.
with words in these translations, but we know that Ezra was also from the house of the priesthood, the house of Aaron.
Exactly. But you wouldn't know that if you didn't study that. And that's why study is essential. It's fundamental. And it should be. Ezra opened the book in the sight of all the people. He was transparent, no hidden agendas. He was standing above all the people. And when he opened it, all the people stood up. They had respect. And Ezra blessed the Elohim, the great Yah. Then all the people answered, Amen. They were in conjunction with it. Amen. While lifting up their hands, they bowed their heads and worshiped the Elohim with their faces to the ground. They humbled themselves. Also, Yeshu, Bani, Sharibaya, Jamin, Akub, Shematai, Hodiah, Messiah, Kelita, Azariah, Josabad, Hannah, Peladiah, and the Levites, the Levites, you call them, help the people. You got to have somebody to help you understand. See, a lot of y'all studying today, but you don't understand what you're studying. You have to have somebody to break it down to you like you're a 4-year-old, simply a novice. Don't get your mouth stuck out. And the people stood in that place.
But Yamsu,
Yes,
ain't that what we doing?
yes, that's what we're doing.
So the people in church that got the same book in their hand, are they understanding what they have in their hand?
They don't even, Contrail, not only do they not understand what's in the book, they don't understand the book itself. Truth be told, okay? not only what's in the book, they don't even understand the book because there's something special.
But they call
They don't
themselves
need the book. They can do what they want to do, how they want to do it, when they want to do it, however suffice, and all just great. Go ahead, Brother Contrail.
so even at the time that you're reading about, the era that you're reading about amongst our ancestors, they didn't have the book like we got the book. And when they heard the book, they did things that we're not doing. Because we got the book in our hand and we ain't even reading what's in the book.
No, Contrail.
Bible toting Christians who
Come on
have
now.
the book in their hand
Come on now,
and don't
Contrail.
even know what's in it.
Come on now, Contrail.
Crazy.
Come on now, Contrail.
Educated
In
people.
defense of
They can
of
read English.
them.
They
Come
can
on
read
now,
English.
Contrail.
They could decipher what English, the English language is. But the fact that they're so brainwashed that
Yeah.
they don't read the book from Genesis to Malachi, from Matthew to Revelation to understand what's really going on.
Exactly.
And they
But
let
in defense of them, Brother Contrail, let me simply say, they got the book. They got it in their dresser drawers. They got it in their nightstands. They got it under their pillows. They got it in their closets. They got it on their mantle. but they don't actually have it in their hands as they should,
Listen.
Brother Country.
And the thing about that book, Yam Sufadi, it's the only book that's really alive as we speak. It's a living book because it's Yah's word. It has prophecies, past, present, and what's going to happen in the future. What other kind of book on earth is there like that?
None whatsoever. None whatsoever. Thank you, Brother Country. Thank you, fellow students. And the
Praise
people
Yah.
stood in that place. What say you, Country?
Praise Yah.
Praise Yah.
They did what?
The people stood in their place.
Okay.
So they read distinctly from the book. They didn't need a commentary and so on and so forth. They didn't need anything new. They read distinctly from the book. In the law of Yah, they gave the sense and helped them to understand the reading. You see, if you ain't able to give people sense, you need to put it down. Okay? If you're not able to break it down to the people, the common people, you need to put the book down. If you can't make sense of it to the people, you need to put it down. It's just that simple.
So this is the essence of the Real Talk for Real People Blog Talk show.
Truth be told,
Because all of us got this book, but ain't nobody really breaking it down like they should.
Exactly. Exactly. My point. Thank you, Brother Catriel. Thank you, fellow students. So the Levies, whom you call the Levites, they quieted the people. And this is how they quieted them, saying, "Be still, for the day is holy." Because of this reading, do not be grieved. And all the people went their way to eat and drink, to send portions. They helped each other and rejoiced greatly, not to be saddened, because they understood the words. Simply reading words that people don't understand is futile. But when you understand the readings, there's great, or should be great joy in it. Man, I understand that. I can see clearly now. Like that song back in the day, Catriel, we grew up with. I can see clearly now, the rain is gone. I can see all obstacles in my way. I ain't that great a singer, but you know what I'm getting at. Go ahead, Brother Catriel.
So we have to stop looking at our people as a monstrosity, because that's the curse that's on us. But we can see clearly now. We done been through the past. We done absorbed this curse. Now our future is great if we link into wisdom and what Yah is telling us to do.
Keyword, Catriel. Keyword, you said it. Link in.
Link into wisdom, because it's right there. All you have to do is read and study it. Be disciplined about your study, how to attain wisdom. And what is wisdom? Wisdom allows you to look into yourself and discipline yourself. Why are you so angry? What you so angry about? What are you so jealous about? What are you so greedy about? What are you so hateful about? And wisdom teaches us how to control these emotions that we have as human beings. This dude went and shot this CEO because of his hatred for these CEOs. He couldn't control his emotions. I don't know if he knew he was going to get caught, but when you're angry and you act out on your emotions, and you don't think about the consequences, there are consequences to your anger when you act out of anger. Praise Yah.
Praise Yah. And it says, Brother Catriel, and Nehemiah, whom which we're reading, he who was the governor, Ezra, the priest and scribe, and the Levies, whom you call Levites, who taught the people, said to all the people, "This day is holy to Yah, your Elohim. Do not mourn and weep." Why? Because all the people were so inundated by what they heard, they wept when they heard the words of the law. Then he said to them in conjunction, "Go your way, stop that crying, eat the fat, drink the sweet, Send portions to those for whom nothing is prepared. Help each other.
What? Do what?
Send portions to those for whom nothing is prepared. Help each other.
Yeah.
For this day is holy to your Elohim. Do not sorrow, for the joy of Yah is your strength. You heard me? Not your joy, not Yom Suf's joy, not Catriel's joy, but for the joy of the Elohim is your strength by virtue of your actions and the virtue of what you're doing and your receipt of the Most High word. That should be your joy. That's who you should take comfort in and have the frame of mind, because that's your strength.
It's not our strength.
No,
It's Yah's joy when we are strong.
exactly.
He's saying, for the joy of Yah. What's Yah's joy? Your strength. Israel, when you're strong, committed, dedicated, devoted to being servants of the Most High, that's Yah's joy. That's what he loves. That's what he requires of us. That's what we don't understand.
Sad to say, but it's true, Brother Cartier. We don't understand because we've been socially engineered and conditioned that we don't have any understanding. We only have any understanding of what our enemies have taught us. That's the understanding that we focus on.
So
we gear ourselves for that. Go ahead, Brother Cartier.
There's joy. And what's the opposite of joy? Pain. Joy and pain. The joy of Yah is your strength. Are people strong right now? The way we're supposed to be?
Our people's hearts are broken.
Yah is in pain.
Yeah.
He's not in joy because we're not in our strength. And we run from our strength because we run through idolatry, trying to do what other nations are doing. We don't know Yah's codes and his script for us as his nation, chosen to be his servants and his messengers. So he's not in joy, he's in pain. The opposite of joy is pain. And we're not strong. We're the bottom. We're the tail. We're not the head. We can't even help our brothers in Liberia. They're asking for help. We asking them for help. We can't help each other because we're not strong. None of us on either side. And none of the places we're in captivity, we can't even help each other. It's crazy.
Truth be told, brother. But that's a fact. Thank you, Brother Cartier. So the Levites, whom you call the Levites, quieted all the people, saying, be still, for the day is holy. Do not be grieved. And all the people went their way to eat and drink, to send portions and rejoice greatly. Why? Because they understood the words that were declared to them. They understood. It was broken down for them. They said, ooh, we. And it was right in front of my face. I didn't even understand. Now I understand. Now I see it clearly. Ooh, I'm so happy. I didn't know which way is up. I didn't know what time it was, and so on and so forth. But now I know. Now I'm not totally confused about anything. All the clouds are going away. I can see clearly, and I'm happy. What say you, Brother Cartier?
What they're saying, once you understand, you can't be negative. You can't be downtrodden. You can't be blue. We understand. We can't be downtrodden. We can't be blue. We can't be negative. You could point out the negativity in the people, but we got to be more positive than negative.
Exactly. Exactly. Because there's hope in the end. There's hope in the end. Praise God. And now they come to the Feast of the Tabernacle. Now on the second day, the heads of the fathers' houses of all the people with the priests and the Levites, whom you call Levites, were gathered to Ezra, the scribe and priest, in order to understand. Why? They didn't gather just to hear words, in order to understand the words of the law. And they found written in the law, which Yah had commanded by Moses, that the children of Israel should dwell in booths. They understood that during the feast of the 7 months, that they should announce and proclaim in all their cities and Jerusalem, saying, go out to the mountain, bring olive branches of or trees, myrtle branches, palm branches, and branches of leafy trees to make booths, as it is written. They understood that. Then the people, they didn't question it. They didn't say, hey, man, I ain't doing all that. I'm something special. They went in conjunction together. One man, one mind. When the people went out and brought them and made themselves booths, each one on the roof of his house, or in the courtyards, or in the courts of the house of the Elohim, and in the open square of the Watergate, and in the open square of they weren't all together, but they were all together in their work and their efforts together. Sometimes when you gather together, you ain't got to be always in the same confine, but your efforts and your frame of mind should be gathered together under the same auspices in order to do the work of the Most High. And certainly, as I said, they were in different places. They were, let me repeat that. Some placed them on the roof of their house. Some placed them in the courtyards, on the courts of the house of the Elohim in the temple, and in the open square of the Watergate, and in the open square of the gate of Ephraim. No, they weren't all in the same place, but they were gathered with the same circumstance and set of mind. And they did the same thing in unification. So the whole assembly of those who had returned from the captivity made booths, everybody, and sat under the booths. For since the day of Yahshua, the son of Nun, until that day, the children of Israel had not done so. That's why they found themselves in the situation that they found themselves in. And I suspect that's why we find ourselves in the situation that we find ourselves in. Because the things that we can do as far as Yah is concerned, we don't do. We have taken on the gods of our enemies instead of our own God, whom we forsook in captivity, because our ancient one had forsaken him. Now we have forsaken him. Now we got Black Lives Matter. We had Marcus Garvey. We had Malcolm X. We had Dr. Martin Luther King. We had so on and so forth. We got the Republican Party. We got the Democratic Party. Some of us got Donald Trump. But I don't think either one of those has worked out for us or will work out for us. Praise Yah. Then the people went out and brought them and made themselves booths, each one on the roof of his house or in their courtyards or the courts of the house of Yah, the temple, or in the open square of the Watergate, and in the open square of the gate of Ephraim. So the whole assembly of those who had returned from the captivity made booths and sat under the booths since the day of Yahshua, son of Nun, until that day the children of Israel had not done so. And there were great gladness because they were doing what they were instructed. And they were doing it gathered and unified. Also, day by day, doing this efforts, from the first day until the last, every day, he read from the book of the law of Moses. He didn't read Black Lives Matter. He didn't read Malcolm X. He didn't read Dr. Martin Luther King. He didn't read Marcus Garvey. He didn't read the Republican Party. He didn't read the Democratic Party. He read what was essential to us, the book of the law of Yah. And they kept the feast 7 days. And on the 8th day, there was a sacred assembly according to the prescribed manner. And there's going to be some additions to that. Not just having a good time, knowing who you are and what you should be doing and so on and so forth. People are going to have to make some additional efforts. In chapter 9, you'll find out the people confess their sins. Not like they do in these modern day churches. Just go on, pray, forget about it, throw it on Jesus, and then go back and do the same thing next year. No, next day, next week, and so on and so forth. But there were additional requirements. You will find out in verse 9 tomorrow. Praise Yah. Brother Cottrell, Sister Nasanya, Maisha, any comments?
All praise to the Holy One of Israel. These lessons in our history give us a lot of insight into what was going on in our captivity. We could see they wasn't practicing the feast of the 7th month, the feast of booths, while they were in Babylon. It was when they had permission to come back and build the walls to the temple that they were allowed to execute these feast days. So there's so much to be gleaned from these lessons that we're reading. And our people should know that we should be as enthusiastic about learning the law as our ancient fathers were when they came out of the captivity. Not just doing a skip to Malou education, but they were dedicated to the study of what Yah was saying, what was his message to us as a nation. I mean, for 6, 7, 8 hours a day, they listened to the word of Yah. And we should be as enthusiastic, but our attention span is only for about an hour and a half because we got other things to do.
Well, that's called social engineering and conditioning, Contrell. That's social engineering, and I feel sorry for our brothers and sisters. We don't have a great attention span. We got the attention span of a 7th grader. That we like to eat buns and cupcakes while we're watching reality shows, while our reality passes us by. We've been socially engineered to be there. That's why it's called programming. On the television set, they're being programmed. Praise you.
I concur with you, Yamsu,
Mm-hmm.
which is why it's so synchronistic in our studies in the book of Daniel. Because the prophet Daniel was so worried about the 4th kingdom, which was so devastating upon Yah's creation on planet Earth. He couldn't figure it out. And what you just said, Yah's people are so confused and devastated. We don't even know our roots, our culture. We're not even on the level of the people that came out of the Babylonian captivity and what they knew and what they understood compared to where we are today. So we have a lot of work compared to Ezra and Nehemiah. At least they had people who understood it, knew, and was of the same mindset. In the captivity we in today, we are so scattered mentally, spiritually, and physically that our task is even greater than what Ezra and Nehemiah faced in gathering our people.
Exactly. Thank you, Brother Cottrell. Nisanya, the administrator of the show. Nisanya, do you have any comments, or are you just gonna lay back for a minute, wait till it's all over?
Comments? Any questions? Comments? Observations?
Comments or questions?
I was sitting here writing some notes. I just really, the thing I'm really observing a lot in both books that we read, Daniel and Nehemiah, is that whenever they pray or anything, I notice that they get on their knees, they put their heads to the ground, they lift their hands and things like that. And that's something that it was in my mind for a while, like, how should I pray? Like, how should I pray? And I'm just noticing that this just reoccurs and over and again, how they're praying. And that's something I just notated. I'm constantly notating in each book that we read. That's something I just took away from my observations.
And that's an essential observation, because as I was growing up as a young lad, my father always told me our most powerful weapon that we have as Israelite nation is our prayer. And as we read, as we study, we can see our kings, King David, he ain't do nothing before he said tefillah, our prayer. And we know that the prophets, as we read, they didn't do anything before they said a tefillah. Matter of fact, the prophet Daniel, he prayed for like 3 straight weeks. Come on. And the Most High thought, we talk about the archangels, Gabriel, Michael, Oriel, Raphael. The prophet Daniel prayed 3 weeks, and Yah sent the archangel Gabriel to him. That's amazing. And we want to meet and talk with angels, but what the experience that the prophet Daniel had, he was like, yo, the angel had to strengthen me in order to speak with him.
Yes.
So we don't even know or understand, based on our understanding in this Western culture, what it means to meet the representatives of the Most High, We're talking about on the level of meeting Elohim, because our father Abraham met 3 angels. Our father Yaakov wrestled an angel. There are so many Elohim that deal with our situation on such a high level that we so brought down so low, we can't even see that the Elohim are fighting in our behalf. We think that's mythology and fantasy, and no, we still alive. We amongst the people that would destroy us in an instant, and they have the weapons to do so. But what's keeping them back? What's keeping them back from destroying all of us as the people?
It's got to be the Most High.
Oh, no doubt about it. Because we ain't got the weapons they got, do we?
No.
How do we get our slavery to the position that we're in now? Picking cotton from can't see sun up to can't see sun down. And they raping our women and our daughters and our sons. What? How do we get out of that? Okay. Y'all don't know? Our power is Yah. And our time of punishment is up. So we need to tap into our spiritual powers, which is our greatest power. Because it's Yah says, not by might, nor by strength. And we made song about it. Not by strength and not by might. Yes, by the word of Yah.
Praise Yah.
Praise Yah.
Yeah.
Thank you, Sister Nasanya. Thank you, Brother Cartry. Fellow students, we're about to proceed to the last segment of study for the night in the book of Daniel, chapter 11, a continuation of chapter 10, the visions, the prophecies concerning Persia and Greece, and so on and so forth. Have your ears open. And don't go into these studies with a linear way of thinking. Go in there with your mind just wide open and see, grasp everything. Praise Yah. Brother Cartry, chapter 11, you have the mic of Daniel.
Hallelujah. All praise to the Holy One of Yisrael, our great prophet, Prophet Daniel. And a continuation of the understanding of what the cycle of the kingdoms are, according to the prophet Daniel. Because we know that the prophet Daniel interpreted King Nebuchadnezzar's dream. Where he said, yo, y'all better tell me my dream and the interpretation of it, or I'm going to kill you and your whole family. And the Most High blessed the prophet Daniel to interpret King Nebuchadnezzar's dream. Not only interpret it, but tell him what the dream was. And King Nebuchadnezzar's dream was about the 4 kingdoms that are of significance on what's going on planet Earth. 4 kingdoms rule the planet. And then there's going to be a 5th kingdom. This point in time now that we're living in is the end of the 4th kingdom, the kingdom of iron and clay. And in the visions that the prophet Daniel is having, the Most High is showing him intricate details of what these kingdoms are. He had a dream about the 4 beasts, and he was perplexed about the 4th beast. But in this chapter that we're about to read now, the Most High is showing him what's going to happen with the 4th beast. And the 4th beast is the kingdom. And what is a kingdom? A kingdom is a nation that has control over other nations. That's what a kingdom is. And the Babylonian kingdom had dominion over various nations. The Medes and the Persians had dominion over various nations. And that's what we're reading about. And we're about to read about the Greek Empire or the Greek kingdom, which has dominion over other kingdoms and other nations. And the fact that the prophet Daniel is now getting visions about the actual impact that these nations have on planet Earth and the nations. It's crazy because now there's a horn that's beeping just to interfere with these studies. In the book of Daniel, chapter 11, he's going to break down the Greco-Roman Empire. He says, as for me in the first year of Darius the Mede, I came forth to support and strengthen him. Early struggles between Seleucid and Ptolemies. These are Greek leaders. He says, now I shall tell you about the truth about these things. 3 more kings shall arise in Persia. Then a fourth will appear who will be far richer than all of them. And when he has enhanced his power through his wealth, he will mobilize the entire empire against the kingdom of Greece. And who was this king? King Xerxes of Persia. Then a powerful king. Who is this powerful king? King Alexander the Great shall arise, who will govern the vast empire and do whatever he pleases. But as his power continues to increase, his kingdom will be broken up and parceled out to the 4 winds of heaven. However, it will not be inherited by his descendants, nor will it be ruled in the same fashion, for his kingdom will be uprooted and passed to others rather than to his descendants. And this was Alexander the Great. He didn't have any sons to inherit his kingdom. He turned over his kingdom to his generals. The king of the south, one of his generals, shall grow strong, but one of his princes shall grow even stronger and rule an empire greater than his. After some years, the 2 will enter into an alliance, and the daughter of the king of the south shall come to the king of the north. However, she will not be able to retain her power, and his offsprings will not endure. She will be handed over along with her attendants and her child and her husband. Who is this? They say it's Antiochus. He married Berenice, the daughter of Ptolemy II, and these are Greek leaders. Later on, a descendant from her line will arise to take her place. He shall penetrate the defenses of the kingdom of the north, enter his stronghold, and succeed in conquering them. He will even carry away into Egypt as spoils of war their gods and their molten images, and precious vessels of silver and gold. For several years, he will refrain from attacking the king of the north. So within this Greek empire that has emerged, they're battling with each other. The division within the Greek empire. After that, the latter will invade the kingdom of the king of the south. So these 4 princes that Alexander the Great put in charge of his kingdom, he put a ruler of the north, the south, the east, and the west. And they're at odds with each other, and they're fighting each other over territory. He says in the 9th chapter, after that, the latter will invade the kingdom of the king of the south, but then return to his own country. However, his sons will prepare for war and assemble a great army that will sweep forth like a flood and advance as far as the enemy's fortress. Who is this? They say it's Antiochus III, the great attack Egypt. So the rulers of Ptolemies and Seleucus were at odds with each other, the north and the south. It says the king of the south will then become enraged and set out to engage in battle with the king of the north. The latter will muster an immense army that will suffer a crushing defeat and be carried off. Who is this? They say in history, it says beneath the fortress of Raphia on the border between Mizraim and Palestine, Antiochus was defeated by Ptolemy IV. The heart of the king of the south will be exalted, and he shall slaughter the tens of thousands, but he shall not prevail. Who was this? Ptolemy conquered Palestine and Syria. They were fighting over the Holy Land and that area that makes nations empire. For the king of the north will once again rise under the army, even larger than before. And finally, after some years, he will advance with a huge force and with great abundance of supplies. During those times, many will take up arms against the king of the south. However, among your own people who are lawless will rebel in fulfillment of the vision, but they will fall. They will fail. Then the king of the north will come and erect siege works and capture the well-fortified city. The army of the south will not be able to withstand him, and will not even the elect forces will be strong enough to resist. The invader will do as he pleases, and none will be able to withstand him. He will establish a stronghold in a glorious land, and it shall fall completely into his power. He will set his mind to conquer the entire kingdom and will make a treaty with the king of the south. Further, he will give him a daughter in marriage in order to overthrow the kingdom, but this will not succeed or be to his advantage. And what portion of history do they attribute this to? They say Antiochus made a treaty with Ptolemy and married the latter's daughter to unite the kingdom. Next, he will focus his attention on the coastland and capture many of them. But a commander will put a stop to his outrageous conduct and turn his insolence back upon him. Who is this? They're talking about after conquering some coastal cities, Antiochus suffered a great defeat by the Romans at Magnesia in 179 BC. He should return back to the strongholds of his own land, but he will stumble and fall, never to be seen again. His successor, who was his successor? His successor, Heliodorus, sent by Seleucus IV, sacked Jerusalem, the temple. They don't give a date. So send forth a tax collector throughout the glorious kingdom. The glorious kingdom is the land of Jerusalem. But within a short time, this king will also be overthrown and meet his end, although not in anger or in battle. Antiochus IV, Epiphanes. His place shall be taken by a despicable creature upon whom the royal insignia shall not be conferred. Rather, he will come forth without any warning and seize the kingdom through stealth and fraud. A powerful army shall be completely routed and crushed by him, both it and the prince of the covenant. Who's the prince of the covenant? The prince of the covenant was the high priest Onias III, who was disposed by Antiochus IV and then assassinated. He's going to be destroyed. After he enters into an alliance, he will act deceitfully, and by treacherous means, he will rise to power with only a few supporters. Without advance warning, he will invade the most prosperous province, and he will do what his father and his grandfathers had never done, lavishing plunder, spoil, and riches among them, yet all the while devising plans against their strongholds, but only for a time. He shall arouse his strength and courage to lead a great army against the kingdom of the south. Meanwhile, the king of the south will wage war with a much greater and more powerful army, but he will not succeed because of the plots devised against him. Even those who shared his food, who seek to destroy him, his army will be swept away, and many will be slain in a battle. What battle was this? Antiochus attacked Mizraim and captured Ptolemy VI. The two kings, their hearts bent on evil, though seated at the same table, will exchange lies, but they will not succeed because the end will not take place until the appointed time. Then the king of the north will return to his land with great riches, but his heart will be set against the holy covenant. He will devise his future plans, He will devise his future plans and return to his own land. At the appointed time, he shall return again to the south, but this time the outcome will not be as it was before. For ships of the Kittim shall come against him, and he will lose heart and withdraw. As he retreats, he will vent his fury and direct his energy against the holy covenant, and he will once again show his favor to those who forsake the holy covenant. Armed forces of his shall obey his command to desecrate the sanctuary, abolish the daily sacrifice, and install the abomination that causes desolation. The abominations that causes desolation. This is the characterization of the altar of the pagan god Zeus, Olympios, set up in 168 BC by Antiochus IV Epiphanes, which prefigured the abominations during the time of the Maccabees. All these things happened during the time of the Maccabees, when the Greeks were introducing the Hellenistic period amongst the tribe of Yehuda. Armed forces of his shall obey his command and desecrate the sanctuary, abolish the sacrifices, and install the abomination that causes desolation. He will seduce by his deceit those who break the covenant, but those people who are loyal to the Elohim will stand firm and take action. These are the Maccabean Yehudite brothers that are famous for what people celebrate now as Hanukkah. Wise leaders of the nation shall instruct many, which Brother Yamsuf and I are attempting to do, to instruct our nation into how to reach Yah through wisdom, knowledge, and understanding. For a time they will fall by the sword and fire, or suffer captivity and exile. When they fall, they will receive a little help. But many will have ulterior motives in offering support. Some of the wise leaders will stumble so that they may be tested, refined, and purified until the end time, which is still appointed to come. So we're all being tested in our hearts, minds, and soul in regards to Yah's plan as we speak. The king will do as he pleases, exalting himself and considering himself to be greater than any god. And that's the time we're living in now. The people and the leaders of the earth today believe more in science than they believe in the creator of all things and everything. And especially the leaders of the superpower, America, Russia, they see themselves as greater than any god. He will utter monstrous blasphemies against the Elohim of Elohims, and he will prosper until the time of divine wrath. That's what these leaders of today don't know. They think they're greater than God. They think they are gods, but they don't know that divine wrath is coming, just like in the time of Noah. For what has been determined must be fulfilled. And Yah, by way of the prophets, have already determined that there's going to be judgment placed in the earth amongst the nations. He shall have no regard for the gods of his ancestors, which the leaders of the earth today don't do. They don't serve the gods of Greece, the leaders of the earth, universal white racist supremacy, don't serve any of the gods of their ancestors, or for the gods we love by women. What are the gods we love by women? One of them was Tammuz, or of any other god, but he shall consider himself greater than them all. And that's the time we're living in now. The people that rule the earth think that they're greater than any god that the people serve. Instead of these, he will honor the gods of fortresses, which they do. What are fortresses? Their military might. A god unknown to his ancestors. The universal white race supremacies, they had gods. They didn't serve their military might. The people that rule the planet today, they rely on their superpower. They got nuclear weapons. They can destroy all of God's creation, or so they think in their mind. And that's what they honor. We got nuclear weapons. This God, he shall honor with gold and silver, precious stones, and costly gifts. Yes, they spend the most money on their military might. He will assign the people of a foreign god to defend the fortress. He will confer great honor on those who favors by appointing them as rulers over many people and distributing land to them as reward. And that's what we see going on. That's why Africa and Asia and South and Central America are not strong based on the resources that they have, because these are the people that are in control. Now we're talking about the latter days. He goes into the latter days, the end time. When the time comes for the end, the king of the south will prepare to attack the king of the north. So Yah said he's going to set brother against brother. But the latter will overwhelm him with chariots and cavalry and a large fleet. We know they got the military might to destroy one another. He will invade countries and sweep over them like a flood, because that's what they can do with their air force, navy, military, army. He will invade beautiful land, and many countries will fall based on the military might that they have. But it says Edom and Moab and the leaders of the Ammonites will escape from his power. He will extend his power over many countries, and the land of Mizraim will not escape, which we see now. They have dominion over all the countries of the earth. He will seize control of the treasuries of gold and silver, and the riches of Mizraim, and the Libyans and the Ethiopians will be subjected to him. And we see Africa being exploited as we speak. So the prophet Daniel saw the exploitation of these African nations. However, reports from the east and the north shall be a cause of alarm to him, and he shall set out in great fury to bring ruin and total destruction to many, which they can do with their nuclear weapons. He will pitch the tents of the royal pavilion between the sea and the beautiful holy mountain, yet he shall come to his end with no one to help him. So universal white racist supremacy may seek world domination through their plots and schemes, but Yah has a plan himself to bring that fifth kingdom in. All praise to the Holy One of Israel. Hallelujah. Brother Yusuf, are you there? Or did you fall asleep?
No, I couldn't fall asleep. I had just had my mic off, and I had a call coming in from the nation.
Yeah.
From Elder. Yeah, I had a call coming in.
Abraham Caleb.
Yeah.
I saw that.
But we'll get back with him after the show.
No doubt.
But that being said, fellow students, Sister Nasanya, the administrator of the show, Brother Cottrell and I, we've done our due diligence and more obligation in order to provide these studies for you. Now it's incumbent upon you to do something for yourselves. It's incumbent upon you to study, meditate, cling to, hang on, lean on, and so on and so forth. And then to come to some conclusions that this is the word of Yah. I can't rely on Marcus Garvey, Malcolm X, Dr. Martin Luther King, the Black Lives Matter movement, the Republican Party, the Democratic Party, and so on and so forth. I have to rely on my creator alone. Brother Cottrell provided to you detailed information in that regard. If you're confused what's going on and what's happening and what's up, Brother Cottrell has provided it for you. Now it's incumbent upon yourself to do something for yourselves. The Most High word is going to work in spite of us or irregardless of us. But individually, it'll work much more for you if you utilize it. You work it. It's just that simple. Well, Sister Nisanya and Brother Cottrell and I, we're about to conclude the studies for the night. I'm going to ask Sister Nisanya, do she have any closing remarks? Then I'm going to ask my brother, Brother Cottrell, fellow elder, iron sharpener, and a brother to stand in the gap for you. Does he have any closing remarks? After that, we're going to play some wisdom in our heart, and we're finna get ready to get out of here. Praise God. Sister Nasanya, your mic is hot.
Hey, Shalom. I had a quick question. I just wanted a quick question. In Daniel verse 11, verse 39, I'm not confused, but I wanted a clearer understanding of what he meant by in one book I have it says alien God, and another book I have strange God.
It says the king will do as he pleases, exalting himself and considering himself to be greater than any god. He will utterly, excuse me, he will utter monstrous blasphemies against the Elohim of Elohims, and he will prosper until the time of divine wrath is completed. For what has been determined must be fulfilled. He shall have no regard for the gods of his ancestors, or for the God beloved by women, or for any other god, for he shall consider himself greater than them all. You said 39?
Yes.
He will assign the people a foreign god to defend the fortress, and he will confer great honors on those whom he favors by appointing them as rulers over many people and distributing land to them as a reward. So in the earlier chapters of
Go ahead.
Daniel,
Mhm.
we know that there are angels that fight for all the different nations, right? Gabriel had to interrupt his battle with the prince of Persia, who was a mellow king, in order to answer the prophet Daniel's prayer. So what it's saying is that the nations of today have no regard of these powers that really exist, that their ancestors are relied on, and what they're relying on is their own understanding.
Okay.
Because some of these
Understood.
gods of the nations have power. It's like the gods of Egypt, right? When Moshe first went to Egypt, right, he challenged them in every plague that they had with the gods of Egypt. Everything Moshe did and Aaron did, the Egyptians were able to match. But Yah showed that he was more powerful than the gods they had. And like the battle that the prophet or the angel Gabriel was fighting with the Persian prince, we see that there's battles going on in the spiritual realm that we don't understand. I don't know if that answers your question, but
Yes, it answered it up in because I was when we was reading, they was naming off different gods that he was, and then it came to 39 where it said he would doing the most strongholds with the strange God. And I was just wondering what was the strange, is that like a entity or so, like what is he dealing with?
yeah, there's negative forces. I mean, the nations that we're dealing with are getting technology from powers that are higher than us.
And strange, Nasanya, means something that you're not familiar with,
Right.
something
Yeah.
that you're unfamiliar with. And so it's strange to you what they're tapped into.
Yeah. Because it says he would deal with the fortified strongholds with the help of a strange, the Tanakh says alien God. So I was just wondering, like, is that some wicked stuff going on right there?
The alien gods are the angels that oppose the Most High. Lucifer being the primary one,
Gotcha.
and he's the god. He's a power.
Okay. I got it. I understand it better. Now I just needed a more clear understanding, like, like that 4-year-old understanding. So thank y'all.
All questions,
And
all questions are good questions. All questions. Go ahead, Brother Contra.
in Isaiah 14, it lets you know who's ruling the fourth kingdom. It ain't man, it's Lucifer. So we're dealing with those powers, or Yah's dealing with those powers while we're on an earthly level. So that's the level that it's on.
But I like to caution the students, fear not. If you're tapped into the Most High, whatever they got going on, fear not. People work on your fear. Praise Yah.
And the
Praise
Most
Yah.
High has to be your refuge. And in order for the Most High to be a refuge, you have to know wisdom. You have to cling to wisdom. And wisdom is the key to being linked into Yah. So, and what is wisdom? Discipline, instruction, so we come to understand what Yah means when he speaks to us. And the book is right in our hands. And we reading. The people in Ezra and Nehemiah's time, when they heard that word, they cried. They was like, damn, we ain't know none of this. And we've been so far off. And we have the book in our hand, but we don't study it.
Thank you, Sister Nasanya, for a beautiful question, wonderful question. Thank you, Brother Cartier, for your response. Now, Brother Cartier is about to close us out. Tomorrow, Most High willing, Brother Cartier will conclude the book of Daniel, and he will proceed on to another book. Praise Yah. Brother Cartier, you have the mic.
Giving thanks and praise to the Holy One of Yisrael, Elohim of our fathers, Abraham, Yitzchak, and Yisrael, for the readings and for the study that we're doing. Because in it, we can see what time we're in, signs of the times, and the message that Yah is bringing to us and what we need to do. So all thanks and praise to the Holy One of Israel, and all glory really belongs to him. And that's his service. That's what we're trying to do. Fulfill his commands so that he gets the glory, gets the honor and praise, and the recognition that he rightly deserves as being the creator of all things and everything in all his creation, even amongst mankind. That's why we do what we do. Yah chose us to do what we do. And we pray that Yah blesses us in our efforts. Praise Yah.
Praise Yah. May the Most High bless each of you, and may he shower his love upon you by virtue of his studies, his words. Brother Cartier, as soon as we play this wonderful song again, Wisdom in My Heart, let's tap in to see what the elders would like to discuss while the song is playing. Praise Yah and bless his holy name. Shalom and good night.
Night.
Good night, Nasanya. Good night, Cartier.
Night, yo. Good night, Brother Cottrell.
Good night, yo. I like Walter.
Somebody calling my name. I want to
Looking forward to actually hearing from us. He's actually looking forward to hearing from us once clarification.
This wasn't meant to be. Wasn't calling out my name, calling me today. How can I break it down? I didn't know what to say. Wasn't calling out my name, calling near and far. Tell me what you want. So let me in your heart, let me in your heart, and wisdom in your heart. Let me in your heart, and wisdom in So let me in your heart, in your heart, let wisdom in your heart, ooh yeah, in your heart, let wisdom in your heart, in your heart, let wisdom in your heart, oh let me in your heart, let wisdom in your heart, in your heart, let wisdom in your heart, ooh yeah, let me in your heart, let wisdom in your heart, in your heart, let wisdom in your heart, oh let me in your heart, let wisdom in your heart, let me in your heart, let wisdom in your heart, wisdom in your heart, let wisdom in your heart, call your name.
Does not wisdom call and understanding put forth her voice? In the top of high places by the way, where the paths met, she stands. Beside the gates at the entry of the city, at the coming in at the doors, she cries aloud, unto you, O men, I call, and my voice is to the sons of men. O ye thoughtless, understand prudence, and ye fools, be ye of an understanding heart. Hear, for I will speak excellent things, and the opening of my lips shall be right things. What could I do? Wisdom calling me over here, over there. Seems like everywhere.
Let me in your heart,
In the night,
wisdom in your heart, ooh yeah, in your heart,
in the night,
wisdom in your heart,
I just can't do
let me
without
in
it.
your heart, wisdom in your heart, oh let me in your heart,
Yeah, it's all the been on my mind. Can't do without it.
let wisdom in your heart, yeah, let me in your heart, let wisdom in your heart,
I just can't do Yah made me as the beginning of his ways, the first of his works of old. I was set up from everlasting from the beginning, or ever the earth was. The fear of Yah is the beginning of wisdom, and the knowledge of the All-Holy is understanding. But by me thy days shall be multiplied, and the years of thy life shall be increased. That's all, that's all, that's all. I just can't do without it. No, no.
Can't do without it, can't do without it, can't do
And that's
without it.
all that's been on.
Oh, wisdom, oh yeah. Said I want you,
Now therefore,
I need you,
ye children, hearken unto me.
stay with me.
For happy are they that keep my ways. Hear instruction and be wise, and refuse it
I
not.
want you,
Happy is the man that hearkeneth to me.
oh,
Watching daily at my gates,
let me in.
waiting at the posts of my doors. For whoso findeth me findeth life, and obtaineth favor of Yah. But he that misseth me wrongeth his own soul. All they that hate me love death, love death, love death.
Oh,